Have you ever experienced the feeling of being suddenly pushed off a cliff when someone you care about suddenly turns cold? But did you know that your own silence and indifference can create a similar effect, even more powerful, on that person? When you stop caring, stop chasing, and start focusing on yourself, it can make the other person feel insecure, anxious, and even desperate. They begin to realize they might lose you, and that potential loss makes them crave your attention more than ever. Your indifference can become a sharp weapon, piercing straight into the other person's proud ego, making them feel hurt, isolated, and losing their sense of control. It creates a frightening void where negative thoughts and emotions can arise and spread, gradually eroding their confidence and pride. Silence is not just the absence of words, it's the absence of acknowledgement and concern. It makes the other person feel unimportant, no longer valued, and gradually loses their sense of safety and confidence in the relationship. Their ego, built on recognition and admiration from others, now feels threatened and shaken. I understand that each time we choose to step back, a persistent question always lingers in our minds. Will them noticing the change in our attitude make them distance themselves even more? Will our absence inadvertently push them away forever? This is a question that haunts many of us when deciding to pull back and reclaim our strength. It's a fear that can make you hesitate, wondering if you're making a mistake by stepping back. After all, the thought that they could leave for good is not an easy one to bear. But stay with me, because today I will decode this complex and often misunderstood situation. We'll delve into the psychology behind this fear and explore why sometimes the best thing you can do is to let them go, for it is in that distance that true clarity emerges. This is not a mind game to manipulate others, but a strategy based on Stoic philosophy that helps you build self-mastery, confidence, and an irresistible appeal. In this video, we will explore how to apply Stoic principles to shift the dynamics in your relationships. You will learn to manage your emotions, focus on what you can control, and let your calmness and confidence naturally attract others. Get ready to discover the hidden strength within you and turn indifference into a powerful tool for building healthy and happy relationships, because when you stop chasing, they will start chasing you. But before we begin, I have a small request. Please take a second to like this video and hit the subscribe button. By doing so, you'll officially become part of our community, those who love self-reliance and refuse to be defeated by anyone. When you suddenly stop communicating, confusion and bewilderment can overwhelm the other person, like a thick fog obscuring their vision. They cannot understand what is happening, or why a relationship that was progressing well has suddenly been interrupted. Questions keep popping up in their mind: what did I do wrong? Зрение. Есть ли что-то, что произошло, о чем я не знаю? Зрение. Is he facing some sort of problem? This is the stage where they feel like they are caught in a vortex of uncertainty. Every attempt to find an answer only leaves them feeling more confused and anxious. During this time, they may try every possible way to understand why you have stopped contacting them. They might review every old message, every conversation, every tiny clue in a desperate effort to find some hint. They may think back to the times you met, trying to recall every word, every expression, every small detail, in hopes of discovering some indication they may have overlooked. For instance, was there a hidden message in a funny story you told that they didn't quite catch? Or perhaps they did something inadvertently that upset you without their knowledge. All these thoughts keep replaying in their minds, making them feel trapped in a cycle of doubt and uncertainty. They may feel confused when thinking about the plans that the two of you had made together. For example, the upcoming weekend date. The long-anticipated trip you were both excitedly planning, or even something as simple as a quiet evening cooking together. All of these things now seem vague and uncertain. They don't know whether they should continue preparing for those plans, or if they should try to reach out to you subtly without making the situation worse. In the spirit of Stoicism, you choose not to get caught up in the emotional whirlwind of others. You understand that silence is not always a sign of rejection or an end, but it can be an opportunity to rediscover your own important values. You remind yourself that this silence is not meant to punish them, but to protect yourself, to create the necessary space for self-awareness and growth. You may choose to sit down and write out your thoughts and feelings. You review everything objectively and ask yourself if you are acting in accordance with your values. You remind yourself that silence can sometimes be the most powerful response. You do not need to respond to their confusion by breaking the silence. Instead, you maintain your stance, respecting the space and time for both of you to reflect and grow. After the initial shock passes, they often fall into a state of denial. This is the phase where they convince themselves that the distance between you and them is only temporary, that you will soon return to how things were before. They start to think that perhaps you are just busy with work or dealing with something beyond your control, and that any day now you will come back and give them the attention they have grown accustomed to. Their mind keeps creating optimistic scenarios, believing that this silence is just a fleeting moment and that everything will soon go back to normal. This is their hope, a strong belief they cling to, refusing to accept the reality that you are no longer investing as much as you used to. Imagine this. They wake up every day with a bit of expectation, looking at their phone, waiting for a message from you, a message that used to come right on time. Every morning, every noon, and every evening, they hold on to the hope that it's just a matter of time before everything returns to normal. This denial becomes their way of coping, a shield that protects them from the uncomfortable truth that your attention has drifted away from them. In this state of denial, they may even start rationalizing your silence with thoughts like, maybe he's just testing my feelings, or perhaps she wants to see if I'm truly serious. These justifications help them feel less hurt and maintain a fragile hope that the relationship between the two of you remains intact. They might look for any small sign to reinforce this belief, such as a like on social media, a casual comment, or even a fleeting glance from afar. These actions are not only a refusal to accept reality, but also a way to prolong hope. They might tell friends that you're just going through a rough patch, and that you will soon come back and everything will be better. They continue to believe in a positive outcome, avoiding the painful emotions that arise when thinking that you might have changed. This denial can last for a while, causing them to sink deeper into it, making it even harder to face the truth that you no longer care about them as you once did. After having tried every possible reason to explain your absence and waiting endlessly without seeing you return, they will start to act, making efforts to seek your attention. They may attempt various things to attract your focus, such as posting cheerful images or statuses on social media to grab your attention, showing that they are happy, busy, or even happier without you. These posts and pictures often aim to construct an image of a wonderful life, but in reality, they are just attempts to make you notice, to make you feel regret or remorse for having left them. They may hope that when you see these images, you will feel their absence in your life and will take the initiative to return. However, these actions actually only further affirm that they are not ready to accept the reality that you have chosen to focus on yourself. Your response to these efforts is not a competition to reciprocate or a game to win back attention. Instead, you maintain a calm and clear mind, focusing on what truly matters to you. A Stoic understands that one's self-worth is not dependent on recognition from others, but comes from deep self-awareness, from resilience, in the face of changes and emotions that arise from outside. You are not swayed by their attempts to draw your attention. You are fully aware that their actions, whether they appear joyful or pretend to be happier without you, actually reflect their own insecurities. Remember, Stoic philosophy teaches us that we cannot control what others think, feel, or do. The only thing we can control is our own response. Their posting of images or statuses showing happiness, being busy, or seeming happier without you is, in reality, unrelated to you. That is their choice and their reaction to your absence. You should not let these actions disturb your inner peace. Instead of paying attention and reacting to them, you choose to continue on your own path, focusing on the values that you find important: growth, self-improvement, and maintaining a steady spirit that is not shaken by external factors. For example, if you see them posting a picture with a radiant smile alongside new friends or on an exciting trip, you might easily feel a bit of jealousy or regret. However, in the spirit of Stoicism, you realize that these feelings are normal but unnecessary to allow them to control you. Instead of thinking that you have to prove something or respond in kind, you choose to continue focusing on your own goals. You recognize that true happiness is not a competition with others, but is found in balance and peace within your own soul. Ultimately, you understand that there is no reason to react to their actions. Your silence, your refusal to participate in this game of attention-seeking is the strongest affirmation of your value. You know that true strength lies in not being swayed by the absence or presence of others in your life. Instead of letting their actions dictate your emotions, you let your heart and mind decide your own path. When they have exhausted every tactic to capture your attention without success, they will resort to their last move, attempting to reconnect by calling, sending messages, or even trying to meet you face to face. These efforts may indicate that they still care about you and want to understand what is happening in your life. In such situations, it's easy to feel a bit unsettled. But remember to keep calm and not let your emotions dictate your actions. You cannot be certain whether they genuinely want to come back because they realize your true value, or if they are merely trying to satisfy their curiosity and ego. At this moment, the advice for you is to rely on the principles of Stoicism. Control your emotions and calmly evaluate the situation. Ask yourself questions like, do they truly appreciate me, or are they simply trying to assert their control by keeping me within their grasp? Imagine they send you a sweet message with promises like, I miss you, or I realize I was wrong. Don't let these words easily sway you. Consider whether their actions align with their words, or if it's just a tactic to lure you back. For example, if they suddenly call you multiple times a day or send long messages describing the positive changes they have gone through since you left, you might feel a bit moved. However, control your emotions and assess whether this is a genuine attempt to reconnect or just a way to draw your attention without any real change in attitude or behavior. In another scenario, they might unexpectedly show up at places you frequently visit, hoping for a chance encounter. They might pretend to bump into you at your favorite cafe or attend social events you usually go to. These efforts might leave you feeling confused or even nervous, but remember, this could just be their way of testing their luck again. Instead of reacting immediately, take a step back and consider the situation from a more objective perspective. Does their sudden presence seem sincere, or is it simply a strategy to pull you back into an old emotional cycle? You don't need to respond right away. Give yourself time to think and evaluate more thoroughly. You can also choose not to reply to their calls or messages immediately, ensuring that you don't make decisions based on temporary emotions. By doing so, you demonstrate firmness and uphold your values, showing that you are not easily swayed by others' attempts to capture your attention. You understand that true value does not come from whether someone returns or not, but from living according to your principles and maintaining peace within your own soul. In the end, face the truth. Not every time you stop pursuing someone, they will automatically come back to you. Reality is often harsher than we expect. If they show indifference and apathy, it is a clear sign that you should not waste any more time and effort on a one-sided relationship. However, the strategy of ignoring can also be seen as a test to determine if they are truly sincere with you. And trust me, if you choose to keep your distance and they start showing positive reactions, it's a sign that there is still hope for the relationship. They might reach out with a message, call, or find a way to reconnect to clarify things, showing that they still care and don't want to lose the connection between you two. On the other hand, if they appear indifferent and do not react to your silence, it's a sign that this relationship may not be worth your time and effort. But don't worry, remember that when one door closes, another one opens. Every ending brings a new beginning, and this could be your chance to find someone who truly values and loves you. So move forward with confidence, believing that good things are still waiting for you in the future.